Yeehaw! Here we go.
Hey everybody, Jay and Ashley Nelson here, or Jashley as some people call us. Welcome to our podcast. Jashley's married to a realtor. We are in real estate and we are in love. We have been married for almost 10 years now, and it is our passion helping other couples learn to love and do life together, work together, or if one's in real estate and one's not. That's actually the couple we're going to have on tonight. Because real estate is just a crazy business. And let's just face it, life is crazy. So marriage is not always easy.
Marriage is crazy?
It is.
Yeah.
You're crazy. But it's crazy good, and we're crazy in love. So we are so excited about the couple that's coming on tonight. We have known them for a really long time, and they're very good friends of ours. So Jay, you introduce them.
Guys, I am so excited about this episode. Mike and Katherine Rozenboom out of Spring Hill, Tennessee. And I have known this amazing couple for so many years. I have to go back. It's a long time. And we worked in real estate together years and years ago and still work together today. But guys, they are just some of the sweetest, most kindest people and great real estate. They're amazing at what they do. So I'm going to bring them on the podcast. So, guys, with no further ado, let's bring them on. Mike and Katherine, how are you tonight?
Hey, doing great.
Awesome. Doing awesome, man.
Y'all looking good and just excited to have y'all.
I know. I love the intro, man. Thank you, Jay.
So, awesome. Where do we begin?
Okay, well,
where do we begin?
Well, okay, one thing I always want to say to y'all, and this is totally off the subject, but I think Rosenboom is like the coolest last name ever. So I don't know. I just saw it on the screen and I was like, I just love that last name. Is so cool. Okay.
I just call him Boom. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's up? Everybody calls you Boom.
They do. No, this is actually really cool, Jay, because I just had this conversation with someone the other day who I knew from way back in college days. I don't even know if I want to say what my nickname was. No, it was Rosie. That's what from Rozenboom. And so I was never Boom my whole life until I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and Jay Nelson is like, Boom. And that was it. And it was so awesome. Ever since then, I have been Boom. And I was like, really? Like in middle school, I was Boomer. Like, sounds like a dog. And then I'm like, where have you been all my life, man? Boom. It's such a better nickname.
So where do we start with the fact that...
Let's start here. Okay. So are you both in real estate? Or one of you in real estate? We know the answers to some of these, but nobody else out there necessarily does. So we have to tell them.
What's the answer to that question, babe?
And did you get started in real estate? And just take it from there.
You want to answer me?
Well, I've been a realtor for 16 years here in Tennessee-ish. I did real estate for a year in Michigan, took 2 years off, and then met Jay Nelson and got back into real estate. So that might be a story for later. But she is not in real estate.
I am not.
But she kind of is.
Okay. Explain that.
Tell us about
I do all his paperwork, basically. I work as his assistant. Back in the old days, I would set appointments for him, map things out, and I still do appointments for him sometimes, but I just, basically as contract coordinator.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's basically contract to close. Yeah, and that's been a really, really amazing thing. I mean, I'm serious. Like if I said, hey, babe, you remember, what was that client's name? I sold him a condo, like, I don't remember, like way back when they had that thing. And she'll go, oh, you mean the Millers? I'm like, yes. Or whatever it is. Like she's on it. Like she knows sometimes.
Yes, you're definitely in real estate. So, but
she's kind of in real estate. Yes. I drag her along.
It is really interesting though. So, because I think this will be fascinating and helpful to some other couples. How did that come about? How did you decide that you were going to come in and do some of his paperwork and stuff? Was that like a struggle getting to there, or did y'all just decide it one day and it happened? Tell us that story.
I think he was just so desperate. He needed help.
That's true.
And my nature is I'm a supportive person, so I wanted to support him as much as I could. So I was just like, I can do it if you show me how to do it. And so he sat me down with the computer and showed me the MLS and real tracks, and And I just kind of took it from there.
Does it? Go ahead, Boom. Boom. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, for a long time, it was never set. Like, we didn't have like, okay, you do this, I do this. But she's super organized. I don't know why she married me. She got like a 4.0 in high school and college. She's very smart. But but she's very organized, and I'm not. More the typical salesman type dude. And so yeah, she would kind of step in and do some of this stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So I think probably 4 years ago, we kind of we said, you know what if we I made her more, I was like, I kind of bluffed, because I'm like, you know what, babe? I was like, I need a I did. I was like, I so bluffed. I'm like, I need to hire somebody who like, they're going to be like this. I know exactly what they're going to do. And she's like, well, I'll do it. So then we just we laid out some specific things. It's just basically contract to close though. She doesn't, at one point, she would actually reach out to my clients as herself. And she's like, I don't really like doing that. So she just she's me. She's the better version of me. So if my clients are watching and you get an email and it's like really on time and organized, it probably came from Katherine.
That is all. Now, Katherine, have you ever thought about, do you have any desire to do what he does on a daily basis, or do you love the role and just supporting? I mean, here's a guy, his face is on all the signs, and he's Mr. Guy that everybody knows out there. And by the way, Mike, seriously, I will say this about you. You are one of the most amazing realtors the client, the touch, you really put everything you got into your client. But Katherine, does that ever make you, as being, the wife of the rock star, do you ever go, man, I want some of that spotlight?
Not really. No, not really. I'm happy with him taking that spotlight.
Mike, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's true. She doesn't really want that at all. Like, there was a period of time where, like I said, she was, Katherine Rozenboom, whatever. I think we said production assistant or something. And she's like,
well, I don't mind being that, but
okay, we can, hey,
I don't want to be on billboards or anything. Am I getting a promotion?
We're working some stuff out here. So yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to pause here for just a second, Jay. Seriously, and I'm not trying to just, throw it right back at you, but I mean, I learned, I was at your feet for like 3 or 4 years, and just watching what you did and how you were like, I worked with other people who were really passionate about numbers when I was in Michigan for a year. And then we had that conversation in Franklin, Tennessee. You had just gotten off a plane, and you're like, I think you're wearing a trench coat. And it was just like, we just met in the parking lot, and you're just like, hey, just get my car. We'll just go. That's actually kind of weird when you think about it.
I remember that.
Yeah. And we were just talking, but
we just drove around for like an hour and talked.
Yeah. You probably just were working, but we worked with someone who's like, they were really passionate about numbers, but you were like passionate about serving clients. It was hilarious. I've got I know a lot of people are huge fans of Jay Nelson, so reach out to me. My number's on the bottom. I've got stories that are awesome. But you were so passionate about working with clients. So I learned all that from you, man.
Well, I mean, you're just amazing. So what's it like, Katherine, being married to a guy that's as busy as Mike? I mean, how does it translate over into your relationship with a guy that's very in demand? Everybody knows him, the whole 9 yards. He's the rock star. What's that like for you on a marriage standpoint?
And also answer that with, do y'all have certain things set up in place? Like, there are certain times that his phone isn't on, or no, it's on all the time. So answer with some actual practical things that y'all have done that work too.
Well, his phone is on all the time, which is a challenge. He is really good at prioritizing me. Luckily, he is he's very in tune emotionally. I'll say, not to embarrass him, but if he knows I need him, he's there. you know, he'll set stuff aside, but his phone is always on. It's, you know, I wish sometimes that when we were on dates, he would turn it off. You know, sometimes we go on a date and I'm just like by myself the whole time because he's on the phone texting or calling, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but there are times he does set it aside.
Let me interject right there. I used to love when we would go on a cruise because used to, I mean, Jay's like, I mean, he's like running to the back of the boat trying to get that last call.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden there's no phone. And I'm like, hallelujah. But now on a cruise, you can pay for it. So then he just started paying for it and he could use it anywhere. And I was like, well, crap, I don't like cruises.
You have to go to the moon or a submarine, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We probably need to set better boundaries about that. But it's been nice, I'll say. Being a realtor, you know, his schedule's flexible, which is good and it's bad. Right. You know, he's working all the time, but he's also free a lot of times when other people wouldn't be free, which has worked well because we homeschooled our kids. Mm-hmm. We have 3 kids. And so he was home a lot during the day so he could spend time with them and, you know, work. And it just kind of, had to find a balance in that.
You know,
that was really helpful, having that flexibility. So it was, yes, I might be working on a Friday night or a Saturday or something like that, but then on a Tuesday, we might be able to go to the zoo. But it is really hard. A lot of people do it better than I have done. But one of the things is I've always, I joke, I have a fear of success and a fear of failure. But I've never wanted to be, I tell people, I've told you, Jay, this many times, like, I don't want to sell more than 20, 25, maybe probably 20, 25 houses a year for that reason. Because beyond that, I know I would either have to hire people, I would either have to give up more of my time, which I'm not willing to do. That would be, I guess that's the only 2 options.
You know, I think it's always interesting because you've always said that we've always had that conversation, Mike, over the years. You know, and you are a really amazing father, husband, and family man. And, you know, you said to me time and time again that there's only a certain amount of Mike Rozenboom that you're willing to not have available for your family. And I have so much respect for that, dude. You don't chase the limelight. You really don't. You're probably one of the most humble people I know. Katherine, is that something that you guys kind of decided together? That, I mean, because he could, if he wanted to sell 100 houses a year, he could, and he would.
But you don't want him to.
I don't think it was ever.
You want me to?
I don't think it was a conversation that we ever had. I think he just kind of decided that himself. He saw how busy he was and didn't want to be any busier.
I don't want to times this by 2 or 3 or 4. I'm like, you know, certainly never wanted to 10x it. You know, it's like, okay. And, you know, too, Jay, you know, watching what you did, like, and how much like effort it took to bring on other people and support them. And I'm like, man, that's like a whole other job, you know? So it's like, man, I think I've got enough on my plate just trying to serve my clients and serve my family and just leave it at that.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike. So you said a minute ago, speaking of family time and turning the phone off, and you said, I mean, I'm sure other people have done it better than I've done it. So can you think of something that you wish you had done differently or maybe done differently sooner than you did?
Yeah, I would say probably the turning the phone off. And you know this, Jay, like your clients are cool. Like you get to know them, you make a connection with them, and you just tell them, you know, hey, you know, if my phone's off, like I'll get back to you. I mean, they really are okay with that. So I think just maybe doing that more often. I was always good about, my family knew it's like, yes, maybe I might step away from the dinner table, but it was never going to be all the time. So they knew they came first, but not always right now. So I mean, I think that worked out. Maybe one of the kids will come home. You can ask them. I don't know.
Hey, I want to ask this. I want to ask this about that. You know, I thought it was very interesting, you know, growing up, you know, as far as for us. And my son was, it's interesting, Dean, he told me, because I was such a maniac growing up, he's, told me I don't want to be a realtor, and now he's
Now he
doing
is.
it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do what you do, Dad. Do any of the kids, have you ever said, hey, do you want to follow in the old man's footsteps? Where's that sit with the kids? Because I think kids that grow up with their parents being realtors, a lot of them do have that thing. I'm never going to do what mom and dad do because I see how much, where's that at with your family?
Well, I know with Caleb, our oldest, he's 20 and he is at Tennessee Tech his sophomore year. And he's in engineering, which is like probably, I mean, an engineering type could be a realtor, but that's a stretch, man. So he's like, nope, like seriously, just like, nope, not interested at all. Caitlin and Maddie, I think,
they haven't expressed any interest.
They've never expressed an interest, but
they haven't sworn it off either.
They haven't sworn it off either. They're still figuring things out.
Well, we have our second one going into real estate now also. So I guess we've done something right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Different. So like my son, he was in engineering, but now he's in welding school, and he is not the personality for real estate. Just absolutely, he would never even consider real estate.
That's really cool.
It's just a personality thing.
So what's next for the Rosenbooms? Where you sold so many houses, and you give that A+ service and love for the client because that's who you are. What's next for your family? I mean, your kids are getting to where you're close to empty.
You still have 2 kids at home, right?
Yeah, kind of. We do. Yes. Caitlin is,
she's a senior.
She's a senior. So she's like never home. She's so super, super, super busy. But we've got a couple more years with Maddie, but yeah, I think I'm realizing I've got more bandwidth, right? It's like starting to open up a little bit. So it's a great question because it's something I'm definitely thinking about. I'm like, I don't know what's next. And so this year will be our best year ever.
You guys just capped.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And did it in 90 days. You did it quick.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Which is a cool thing, so that means, 100% commission for the rest of the year or rest of our, till next July or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just starting to wonder, I don't know, maybe put the foot on the gas a little bit, see what happens.
Yeah. The kids don't need him as much.
Well,
I don't think
they're going to be gone.
I don't think she's ready to be around a lot. She's like, you can go work a little more.
It works more. Yeah.
And it is a constant transition, throughout life and kids stage.
Different seasons.
Now without any kids at home. I mean, that was just a whole mental re-shifting for us. And it's funny that you said that because sometimes I'm like, don't you want to go to the grocery store? He needs to just get out of the house for a minute.
Yeah, when it's time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, Mike, we've gone back so long, man. I mean, to do this, for y'all to be on the Married to a Realtor podcast and be able to share your vision and what you're doing, man. I mean, I just think you're literally one of the greatest realtors that I know. And, I love the fact that you're such a great family, man. And everybody that ever has come in contact with you knows that you're so much more of a servant. There are some people that are givers, and there are a lot of people in the world that are takers, and you guys are some of the most giving people that I've ever been around. And I'm blessed to be back working with you guys a lot more now. And what would you say to the young realtor getting into business? Because
this is couples. This is about couples. Only about couples.
I know,
That's
but
what this podcast is.
Yeah, but think,
young realtor getting in that is married.
Yeah, or I was in a relationship. How do they make
it to a realtor? Come on, Jay.
Well, look.
I have to keep him on task.
Mike, look, you know how
that's a different podcast.
No, but you know how demanding this industry is, okay? And being in a new relationship, we've seen a lot of, things go wrong in relationships with real estate agents because it is such a demanding job. What would you say to somebody out there that is, trying to get their ball rolling, but also starting a family, back when you guys, had the little ones?
Yeah.
That was directed at you.
Hey man, it. For us, one thing that helped was we found a way, and I think you guys are like one of the greatest examples, I think, of who do it together, but you can't find a way to do it together that's really honoring of each other, because not everyone's going to be Jay or Ashley, or some spouses might not want anything to do with it, but just find a way to incorporate each other that respects each other's strengths and weaknesses and desire, because it is a very demanding lifestyle. So I think that's really huge. I would just recommend finding a way that they can get involved, whether it's if they like marketing, then help get them involved, but don't try to force them to do real estate. You know what I mean? Like, just find something that they can do where you're in it together. I know that's been really helpful for us.
Yeah, it did help me, understanding his job and the clients and what he's doing. It helped me, support him more because I want him to succeed at that. So being a part of it really did help.
Yeah.
And something else I'll say, you guys have always been and Katherine, I know you're super involved with all of Mike's big events that he does, because you guys throw some massive, whatever you want to call it, events or client appreciation parties, the things that y'all do.
Yeah, tell about that.
Tell us a little bit about that. And I know y'all both do those.
We do both do them. I imagine it drives you crazy.
I told him a couple of years ago, I'm like, you need to come up with a list. I'm a list maker. I'm like, give me a list and I will do it. And he finally has done that.
That was one of the best things I ever did, is actually for an event. You guys know, because you guys have done lots of events. It's like, there's just always more than you really think there's going to be. There's just all these little things. And I would just kind of run around just trying to do them. And I finally actually sat down and think, okay, this has to happen. This has to happen. And then I handed her a clipboard, and that was like.
And that frees him up to be the face, and he can go talk to everybody and just kind of relax.
And it's Katherine. It's like what you like to do. It's how great. Yeah.
What are all the different parties that you've thrown? Because I think you're pretty creative with that, guys.
He is. It's all him.
Party always the Star Wars party.
Oh man, those are good. So we have another one. That's client appreciation. In that category, we do the movie. And that was a lot inspired, of course, by you. You've been doing that for years. So we do that, rent the movie theater for our past clients. And then for the neighborhood, we've done quite a few different ones. I think the best one I ever did was The Greatest Showman. We showed The Greatest Showman, but then we had a petting zoo there. And carnival inspired games for the kids.
Cotton candy, popcorn.
Big undertaking.
Did he sing, Katherine? Did he sing?
Too much. I should have.
He didn't sing.
I should have. Oh man.
He did get some of the kids to come up and tell jokes though, which was fun.
Yeah. That was a smart little tip. Like, get their kids involved, Yeah. But yeah, just different stuff. Poolside movies, I do those because that's really easy, because I actually have the equipment, so it doesn't cost anything. So yeah, different stuff. We did a Halloween thing yesterday that we helped. What y'all do? Man, so what I did, part of it, so there was over 200 people from the neighborhood that came. It was an awesome Halloween party. But what I did is just really, because we had a busy day yesterday, so there was 2 other people that kind of did the party in our neighborhood. And then I just came in with a caricature artist and a balloon artist. And then I gave out finger lights for the kids so they could be seen on Halloween.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You guys just love that, though. I mean, is that part of y'all's personality? I mean, you do it. Oh my goodness, what is that? Like ET phone home light?
I know, it's so weird.
That's
really odd things.
We have extra. You can have one. I'll bring one to you next week, Jay.
I'd love that. Is that because you guys love just throwing parties and meeting people?
No, I don't know why, Jay. I don't know why.
I think he does. He's a hospitable person. He's hospitable, so he likes making sure people are comfortable and happy. But our garage is turning into an event center, and it needs to get under control.
That's another
Y'all can start either that or we need to move. So,
Oh man, I just thought of one, and then I was like, hey, I'll have a whole nother business. Start renting your party supplies out.
actually, there's somebody just told me about this yesterday. There's a website, and I can't remember it now, where you do that.
Stash.
It's called Stash.
Really?
My
Where
God.
if you have not like a power washer or whatever, but different things
You can
that you
rent
have, you
stuff
can just
out.
rent it out. It's kind of like Uber for your stuff.
Pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm gonna have to check into that.
So let me ask y'all this. So think of just a piece of advice that you would give any other couple. It can be real estate related or not real estate related. Just as far as your relationship, what has, in your opinion, made it great, made it better? Doesn't have to be real estate related. Just
Love related.
Well, it won't be real estate, really.
Yeah.
I mean, just honoring each other's strengths and weaknesses. He's been really good at, accepting my weaknesses for what they are, and just,
all three of them.
going with it.
Oh.
It's a lot more than that.
It's a struggle, but I manage.
What would you say?
I think that's a great answer. And I mean, just rolling with it, like growing, because I mean, we're 23 years in or something like that, and so I feel like there's been a lot of different iterations of our relationship. So I think it's just sticking it out. And I heard this advice: if you're in a really rough patch, like stick it out, like stay with it, because there's a crazy percentage of marriages come out. It may take a little while, but it works. So you just got to really stick with it, And it's fun because we've gone through lots of different seasons, and I think we're in the best one.
It's pretty good.
woo! Yay!
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, he's getting ready.
We're getting into that.
Well, you guys are amazing, and Mike, we go way back, brother.
We do, and I'm sorry, Jay.
It's crazy.
Look at this. Look at this guy. Oh my goodness, that is Jay Nelson. Okay, so we were on. You remember on the back of the yellow pages?
Yep.
This was the back of the yellow pages, and then I got this too, Jay. I found this in the.
Oh my gosh, that was. Oh my gosh, we were crazy. We were nutty.
Yeah, we're crazy.
No, you changed my life, man. 100% changed my life by
Changed mine,
being
bro.
okay. Like, why don't you come work with me?
And I always felt like, like there was always that thing with that group of people, all those guys. We were partners, man.
Yeah.
I never, you know what? I was always wanting everybody to build each other up. Like it makes me actually excited to see all of the people that are in there. Like everybody grew up. We grew up. We all created businesses for ourselves to provide for our families, and we just helped each other grow. And I think we're still doing that together, Mike. I really do.
Oh, amen. Amen. But that was testimony. I mean, the people you chose in the beginning, like they're all still doing, there's like 4 or 5 all still doing real estate, man. 16 years later. That's
great. That's big.
That's incredible.
That's because I think about when I think about great people that are great at real estate, it's people that love other people. Like you gotta, you know what? I don't think you can be a good realtor unless you really love that interaction and that connection that we're so blessed. I mean, I love it. I still love that part of the industry. And I think that's what you guys, you're the same way. Patty, I mean, JT, I mean, we could go on and on. All the people that and Kim still, Kim Hawkins, who's still our assistant, 17 years later. I mean, she's the best. She's getting ready for Vegas too. I'm
excited about that. I'm excited. And Ashley, like you and Jay, married to, I mean, you guys are awesome. I mean, I've known Jay now for a long time, and I'm like, and there was a period of time where we weren't together much, right? Yeah. And then Ashley, all of a sudden, he's married again, and like awesome, and like I'm telling you, best version of Jay I've ever seen.
Oh,
amazing! Well, and I was super impressed with you for a long time, but I'm like, y'all work.
Well, y'all do too. Well, y'all,
Well,
we're
let me give a tip. I'm
okay.
gonna give a tip.
Okay, she got a tip.
It's kind of it's something that you said earlier, and then it made me think of it as
Yeah.
just like being able to adjust and recognize strengths and weaknesses, or maybe not putting the phone down. So one thing that Jay has done well with is he does listen to me, and I know he hasn't listened to a lot of people in the past. Mike, you know that. And so like we went through a time where I couldn't get him on the phone, and now everybody loved these. He used to rant on Facebook Lives.
Oh my God.
Do rants, okay? And people would love him because he's just like in his car and he's like motivating and he's just like going nuts, and everybody loved it. But I would be trying to get him on the phone and he would not answer me. And this would just be like over and over again. And all of a sudden I get on Facebook and I'm like, he is choosing to talk to the world instead of talk to me. It's like hurt my feelings, And so I was like, I'm gonna have to ban Facebook Live rants for a while.
She did.
And it wasn't like I didn't want him to do that or to motivate or inspire people, because I love that about him. But it was like, but not at the expense of
not at the expense of her.
Of me.
Yep.
And like I really had to say that in the right way though too, so he could hear that, and he could understand what I was trying to say. And he was like, I'll stop, which I don't think a different version of him would not have. The today version of him could listen to me and get that. And I mean, now we do it together and he does it sometimes and it doesn't bother me, but there was just a specific time where he was like crazy about it. And I was like, wait a minute, this is like actually taking away from
That's huge.
From us. And he,
I'm listening. I'm listening to my boo-boo.
I appreciate that.
So smart.
And that was a time that he did make a change, and it was for the better of our marriage. So thank you.
I still got a lot of work to do.
We all have
Is it easier to do it in Puerto Rico? Is it easier to listen in Puerto Rico?
This was before Puerto Rico. This was years ago.
That's
ago.
cool.
But I mean, now that we're down in Puerto Rico quite a bit, we're still doing real estate deals down here.
Yep.
So it's I mean, you can't it's hard to take it out of the crazy man's head.
Yeah. Okay, so
Love it.
y'all as a couple, give us your last thoughts before we sign off here. Whoever wants.
Last thoughts.
Last thoughts for right now, for tonight.
For right now. Yeah, I mean, just what you were saying, just make each other a priority. Your relationship's got to be more important than your job. Your relationship is your job.
And I think you really have to, yeah, that's so true. And I would say trust that, because you're not going to, and there's it's an awesome book, Good to Great, whatever, but just trust that sacrifice is going to make you actually even a better realtor, better for your clients, better in everything you do. If you have that base, you know what I mean? If you got that foundation as in your relationship, then everything you do is going to be more successful. You may have to, like you did, Jay, you may have to run slower for a little while. And I'll try to do better at that too. But there seasons, but it's going to make it better. You're actually doing your business a disservice if you neglect your marriage.
Absolutely. And I've had to learn how to listen, because I mean, like, I have to be a better listener. And my brain is like Jeff yesterday was saying, Jay, you'll say something and you ask like 6 questions in one sentence and none of them make sense. Like, slow them.
Yeah,
he literally,
like, did you let me answer the first question
you
first?
you have 6 questions in one sentence. And he's like, dang, dude, it's Jeff and Marcy Willems.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And I think my brain's just moving sometimes too fast. And I'm really trying to be a better listener and listen to people more and slow down, maybe like not respond as fast, because I'm so fast. Like, I'm trying my butt off to try to listen and give a minute of soak in before I say something.
Wow, I'm ready to see this.
She's saying that stuff.
I'm ready to see this in action.
I know, but I'm trying. Like, it's really hard, but
I see it. I see it. I do. I see it. You definitely run a little. You're a little bit more. Maybe you're just getting older. I don't know, but you're definitely like a little bit more intentional.
Purposeful,
right?
Yeah, he is.
So we're gonna
the motivational coach in the locker room is not all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You remember, like, you'd yell, fails full speed, boom, fail full speed.
How about when we,
He still
hey,
yells that quite a bit.
hey, I got to tell this. This just popped in my head. We used to get these calls. Listen to this. Y'all are going to love this. We used to get these calls, and we were spending so much money on advertising, you know, and doing 1-800 numbers and stuff back when all that stuff was a big deal. And we would get calls, and all of us would get together on the team, and we would grade each other on. We had a grade. And Mike, do you remember the grade?
Is it terrifying?
Mike, remember this. We used to say that if you had a client, you kept them a lead on the phone for a certain length of time, you would get a grade, and we graded them all at Star Wars. So tell them what it was, Mike. Do you remember?
Well, I remember it was like, you print it out, and it was like how many. It wasn't. You didn't even count unless it was at least 2 minutes. Had to be 2 minutes to even count.
You remember what the pinnacle when you really?
It had to be Jedi. I mean,
it was Yoda. No, Yoda.
Oh, was it?
If you kept somebody, if you were able to keep a conversation going for like 15 minutes, we gave you a Yoda grade. Then it was Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it went down Luke Skywalker, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and then if you did not keep them on the phone, and you were like
Ewok or something.
No, we called him Jabba the Hutt.
Oh my goodness.
Start doing this with his listening skills. Like if he does take that pause and think, I'm going to be like Yoda. You just did it.
Yes. Positive reinforcement.
Yes.
Yoda. There you go. Now you're speaking his language.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're so glad y'all jumped on the podcast, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being great friends
so much for sharing your hearts with everybody out there. And I know this is going to be helpful to a lot of people. And I don't know if you know, but we always end with.
Do you know how we end?
Everybody has to do a heart.
You got to do a heart.
Yes, with your hands.
You got to do a heart.
And then on the count of 3, you have to kiss, and we kiss at the same time.
Yep, y'all got to kiss.
Kiss each other.
Yeah.
Yep. That's great. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Married to a realtor.
I love it. Thanks, guys.
Everybody have
Love
a
y'all.
great marriages. Love y'all too.
See y'all. Bye guys.